protocol is what? Timestamp based protocol. To maintain the serializability in timestamp based protocol, we select ordering among transaction in advance. Now the timestamp, there are two types of timestamp. On transaction, it is, we have denoted like TSTI, and on data item, that is R timestamp data I and W timestamp data I. Okay, so what is TSTI? What is TSTI? So with each transaction Ti in the system, a unique fixed timestamp is assigned, and this timestamp is assigned by the database before the transaction Ti starts its execution. Okay, we have a two transaction, say Ti and Tj. Okay, and say time flies like this way. Say it is 9 a.m., 9:15 a.m. Okay, 9:30 a.m., 9:45 a.m., 10 a.m. like this way. Okay, now say transaction Ty starts at this point and it is executed up to this, and T2 starts from this particular point. So what about the TSTI? So we can write for this particular transaction, the timestamp is what? It is 9 a.m. because it starts at 9 a.m. And what about this timestamp? It starts from at 10 a.m. So its timestamp should be what? It is 10 a.m. So we can write TSTI is equal to what? It is 9 a.m. and TSTJ, it starts at what? It is 10 a.m. So we can write 10 a.m. Okay, so in these two transactions, which one is the older transaction? Ti is the older transaction. So how to know which one is the older transaction? So in each and every case, so this is what Ti is greater than TSTJ. So the bigger value, that means it is what? It is newer. Okay, and the smaller value, that means it is what? Older. So from this TI value, we can identify which one is the older transaction, which one is the newer transaction. So TSTI is what? It is what? 9. Okay, and what about the TSTJ? It is 10. So definitely 10 is greater than 9. Here to implement timestamp, here we use system lock, or we may use special counter. Okay, now we can see, so here Ti is older and Tj is newer. That means what? Ti must execute before Tj. Ti must execute before Tj, and definitely Ti must exit before Tj. Ti must exit before Tj. Okay, now we can see two timestamp values are there. So two more timestamp values are there, R timestamp and the W timestamp. Okay, now we can see, now we will talk about the timestamp on data item. There are two types, R timestamp data and W timestamp data. Now you can see this example. Say their TSTI, say it starts from here, so you can see, say this is 9 a.m. Okay, say this is what? 10 a.m. and this is, say, what, our 11:30 a.m. So the starting point of all. Okay, so what about the TSTI? You can, so that means what? The TSTI is what? It should be what? It is 9, and TSTJ should be the 10, and here TSTK should be what? It should be 11:30. The entry time of the transaction. Okay, now we have to identify the W timestamp of all the variables. Just see one by one. So the largest timestamp of any transaction that executed is successfully. Now suppose if you are here, suppose you are here, that means what about the timestamp? So W timestamp of a variable, it is here. If it is here, so successfully, the largest timestamp of any transaction that executed successfully. So the Ti is executed successfully, W. So what about the TSTA? It should be what? It is 9, because it just copies this TSTI. Are you getting this one? Now similarly, what about the next? We can see the write operation for B. So write operation for B, Now here successfully done by the Tj, and what is Tj? Ts Tj, Tj is 10, so it should be the 10 here. The next is what we can say Wc, so W timestamp for the C variable, so it is successfully done by Ti, and its timestamp is what, 9, so it should be the 9. Next is what Wd, so W timestamps, it is D, now successfully done by the Tk, and its timestamp is what, 11:30, so it should be what, 11:30. After that, once again W is there, so W is there, that means what, it is successfully done by the Tj, okay, that is the largest timestamp, so the Tj, so we have to update this, now it is not 9, now it should be the 10. Are you getting this one? Similarly, you can read the R timestamp value, so the largest timestamp of the any transaction that executed A successfully, so we can see one by one. So R timestamp of A variable, so in this case it is done by the Ti transaction, here it is 9, and the TSTI is 9, so it should be 9. Next is what, the B is what, this one, so read timestamp for the B variable, it is successfully done by the Tj, where TSTJ is what, 10, so it should be the 10. Next is what, read this one, so read timestamp for the C variable, successfully done by the Ti, so which is 9. Next is D, so successfully done by the transaction Tk, here the TSTK is what, 11:30, so it should be the 11:30. After that, read A, timestamp read A, okay, read A, so read A is what, successfully done by the Tj after Ti, so TSTJ is what, 10, so we have to update it, should be the 10. Are you getting this one? So in this way we have to calculate the TSTI values and the W timestamp and the R timestamp. So we can see here the timestamp are updated whenever a new read or write or instruction is executed, whenever a new read and write instructions are executed, and definitely timestamp is unique and non-repeated value. So here the values are unique, these values are unique and the non-repeated value. Next we will discuss about timestamp ordering protocol. Okay, now you can see the timestamp ordering protocol. Now here Ti needs to read a variable and to write a variable. Now to read a variable, already you know, read it is what, compatible, and read write it is not compatible. That means if a transaction tries to read a variable, that means we have to consider only the write operation. But if a transaction try to write anything, that means we have to consider both read and write operation. So you can see Ti issue read operation, that means what, we have to only consider the write operation. So we have to consider the write operation. Now if TSTI is less than W timestamp A, then Ti needs to read a value of A that was already overwritten. We can see here, what is TSTI? TSTI is a 9 o'clock, okay, and what is TST2? It is 10 o'clock. Now here TSTI, now suppose T1 wants to read this particular variable A. So what about the TSTI? So TSTI is what? It is 9am. Okay, so this is what? It is 9. And what about the W timestamp? It is successfully done by the T2 transaction. So the timestamp of T2 is what? It is 10. So what about the WTSA? It is same as the 10. Now that means what? This value is more than this one. So that means what? A Ti needs to read a value A that was already overwritten. So the T1 must read that particular value before that particular transaction. In this particular short, T1 must read this one, but T1 wants to read after that successful write operation. So but the swapping is not possible because both are what? Non-compatible. We cannot read somewhere here after that. So anyhow the T1 transaction must read that particular value before the write operation, because they are what? They are not compatible, read write. T1 is the older transaction than T2. So before attempting to other write operation, before attempting other transaction to implement write operation, T1 must finish its all operation on the same variable. But here T1 delayed its operation, read operation. Okay, that value must be here. So T1 must execute all its operation before attempting to the other operation. But here T2 T1 is the swapping, that means what, that RA value must be somewhere here, but it is what, it is executing in this place instead of this one. That means what, swapping the conflicting operation, so it is not allowed. Okay, so that is the violation of the transaction, so definitely inconsistency will occur. Okay, so the read operation is rejected and the T1 is rolled back. So T1, this particular transaction is rolled back. Are you getting this one? Now we can say if TSTI is greater than W times time A. Now we can see the transaction TI needs to read. Now say here transaction T2 wants to read the variable A. Now here the TSTI is what? TSTI is what? It is 10 AM. So this is what? It is 10 AM. And the successful write operation is what? This is the successful write operation. So that means what? WTSA for variable A is what? It is what? Same as this 9. So it is what? It is 9. Okay, now that means what? This value, this 10 AM. Okay, so this is what? For this, now this transaction, T2 transaction, try to read that particular variable A. So that means what? This TSTU2 is greater than the W times time, which is 9. That means what? The read operation is executed and the R times time A is set to the maximum of R times time A and TSTI. TSTI is what? TSTI is, it is 10 AM, and here it should be, we can write that R timestamp of A should be the 10 for the successful read. Are you getting this one? So if TI issue a read operation and if TSTI is less than W timestamp, if TSTI, now T1 transaction try to read this particular variable which is already overwritten, TI must execute this read operation before that write operation, but here TI tries to read after this update operation, so definitely it is not possible. So we cannot swap this particular transaction from this position to this position, this place, because both are non-compatible to each other. So definitely the TI, that operation, that read operation is rejected and the TI is rolled back, this T1 is rolled back. But if it is the opposite case is there, so rate operation is the TSTI is greater than W timestamp. Now this value TSTI is greater than W timestamp, the read operation executed and the maximum R stamp value is what? Same as the R timestamp. So it is 10. Now if T2 issue a write operation, you can see this one. So if T2 issue a write operation, definitely we have to consider both read and write. So if TSTI is less than R timestamp, are you getting this one? Now suppose successful read operation, it is what? Now T1 TSTI is what? It is 9 and TST2 is what? It is 10. So successful read is what? Somewhere here. So that means what? R timestamp of A variable here, it should be the 10. Okay, but the T1 tries to write this one. So where, that means what is TSTI? So T1 needs to write operation. So what is TSTI? It is 9. Okay, and what is R timestamp? So R timestamp is what? It is 10. Now this condition is true. This condition is true means what? Then the system of A that T1 is producing was needed previously, and the system assumed that the value would never be changed. The write operation is rejected and T1 is rolled back. Are you getting this one? That means what? That T1 is a older transaction, okay, and you can see that write operation must execute before the read operation. That value was needed previously, but not now. Okay, that value of T1, you can see that value of T1 producing was needed previously. Now that T2 needs the value of A, updated value from the T1, okay, and that is possible if the T1 is executing, if T1 executed this write operation. But due to this delay, T1 tried to write after reading the other transactions. So definitely it is not possible. It is not, we cannot swap, means we have to execute this write operation before that read, but we are executing after that. So we are swapping this one non-compatible instructions. So definitely it is not applicable. It is not possible. T1 is a older transaction and T2 is a younger transaction. So T1, the older transaction must execute all its operation before attempting by the other transaction to maintain the conflict serializability, to maintain the serializability. But here you can see the transaction T1 delayed its operation. That transaction must be executed, all the transaction must be executed before T2. But it is delayed this one. That means what? It swapped from this position to that position. So, but W and right, they are what? Conflicting operation. We cannot swap, we cannot move right operation from this place to that place if the conflicting operations are there. So that means what? It is a violation of the it is a violation of the rule. The transaction will not be serializable. Okay, so that is what? Violation of the conflict serializability. So we cannot do this one. Okay, so that means what? The operation is rejected, the right operation is rejected, the right operation is rejected, and T1 is rollback. T1 is rollback. Now we can see another example. So if TSTI is, say, TSTI is less than W times time A. Okay, now what is the W times time? Now TSTI, now the TI transaction try to write up any operation. So what about this one? So what about the W times time? So W times time A is what? Say it is 10 AM and it is what? 9 AM. So it should be what? It is 10 AM. So here it is 10 AM and T1 tries to write operation at that particular point. So what about the TSTI? So T1 wants to write that operation. TSTI is what? It's 9 AM. And W times time is what? It is 10 AM because T2 successfully write that particular. So it is what? It is 10 AM. So the TI is attempting to write an absolute value of A, hence the write operation is rejected. Now here already it is overwritten, already it is written, and the T1 is try to overwritten this one, which is already which is already absolute, because T1 must execute this write operation before that write. So T1 must execute this write operation before this write operation. Okay, now T1 tries to execute after that operation, after this write operation. That means what? This write operation is, it is absolute, it is old, it is now it is not required. So that means what? This write is rejected and the rollback this T1 transaction. We can see here TSTI is less than W times time A. Now T1 is try to write operation, okay, but it is already written by the other transaction, which is younger one. So the older transaction must execute all its operation before attempting to by other transaction to same variable. That is the basic principle of the conflict serializability. Now, but here W, instead of executing that WA here, before that it will execute, it is executing after this one. So that means swapping this one, but to maintain the serializability we cannot swap the two conflicting operations. We cannot do this one, we cannot swap the conflicting operation. Okay, so that means what? It is not conflict serializable. Now the third option is what? If TSTI is greater than W times time A and TSTI is greater than R times time A. That means if these two conditions are false. Now in this case we can see, now if TSTI is greater than R times time, now TSTI, that means what? T2 tries to write that particular variable A. And what about this TSTI? So TSTI is what? It is 10. So it is what? 10 AM. And R times time A, it is what? Successful read operation by the transaction T1. So it is what? It is 9. That means what? T2 can write that particular value. Are you getting this one? So it is okay. So then write operation executed and update that particular write value. Okay. So updated value is what? It is T2. So here it should be what? It should be the 10 W times time. Now you can say this one. So if TSTI is greater than W times time A, so TSTI means T2 wants to write that particular variable A, and that means what? TSTI should be what? 10 AM. So this is what? 9 and it is 10. So it is 10 AM. W and successful write operation is what? By the T1 operation. So it should be what? It is 9. So definitely it is allowed and write operation is executed and update the W times time A. So the updated value is what? It is also 10 here. Okay. Now we will talk about properties of timestamp based protocol and Thomas Wright rule. Now the timestamp based protocol, it ensures conflict serializability. It is conflict serializable. So that means it is also ensure view serializability. Okay, already that means we know if a system is conflict serializable, that means it is also view serializable. So if it is conflict serializable, definitely it is also view serializable. Now no restrictions on commit statement, hence produces irrecoverable and cascading rollback schedule. So irrecoverable schedule, and it will produce a cascading rollback. That is the limitation. Now rollbacks are there, hence no deadlock possible. So deadlock will hack. So already you know, if a schedule is in deadlock process, we have to roll back the transaction. So already rollback is inherent process in this particular timestamp based protocol. Hence there is no deadlock. Now another limitation is due to rollback, starvation problem may occur. Okay, already you know. So what is the starvation problem? That will occur only for the rollback of the transaction. Now due to overheads of timestamp and rollback, the process is slow. Okay, because we need extra code, extra execution to implement timestamp. Okay, due to rollback, the transaction needs much more time to complete. So hence the process is very slow. Now we can see one example. Say two transactions are there, T1 and T2. So TSTI, here TST1 is 9 AM and TST2 is what? It is 10 AM. So which one is the younger? This is what younger. This one is the younger transaction. This is the older transaction. Now read A and write A. So successful read A. So TST, you can say this is what our timestamp for successful read. Okay. So for our timestamp for the A variable, it is 9 AM, and W timestamp for the A variable, it is also 9 AM. Successful write operation. Now T2 needs to read that variable. So what about this particular timestamp? Now we can see, now any transaction tries to read this any read operation. Now say we can see this one. So Ti issues a read operation, and if TSTI is greater than equal to W timestamp A, when the read operation is executed. Okay, that is what here you can see the TST2 wants to read the A variable which is greater than equal to the last successful read. That means what? It is last read timestamp of A. So the read timestamp of A, it is what? It is 9 AM. Here it is what? It is 10 AM. So this condition is true. That means it is allowed to read a variable. Are you getting this one? So that means what? This transaction, it is what? This transaction T1 and T2, we can check whether it is conflict serializable or not. So T1 and T2, two transactions are there. So here we can say T2 is based on, or T2 is, we can see this read A and read A, it is what? Non-conflicting. Write A and read A. So it is conflicting operation. So we have to execute T1 first, then we can execute T2 first. Okay, after that there is no instructions. Now here only one instruction is there, read A and commit and commit. So that means what? So you can see here the precedence graph contains no cycle. That means what? It is the conflict serializable. So if it is conflict serializable, definitely it is also view serializable. Okay, now you can see the commit operation is somewhere here and here. Okay, now if any failures occur here, okay, so that particular execution of this transaction is complete. But it will roll back. The T1 will roll back. That means what? It is irrecoverable. So this particular transaction is what? This particular transaction is irrecoverable. And if the failure is somewhere here, say somewhere here, that means what? So this will roll back as well as this particular transaction will also roll back. So that means what? Cascading rollback is also there. Now here here the rollbacks is there. That means what? Starvation problem also is there. Are you getting this one? And definitely to implement this TSTI, okay, comparison is there, as well as the various comparisons are there, and the RTSAW, finding the RTSAW and WTSA. So program needs some more extra codes to execute all this, to implement all this timestamp. So definitely these are the overheads for the transaction, for the schedules, hence the process is slow. Okay. Next we will discuss about Thomas Wright.